this is crazy because we're just outside the Prime Minister's home and it's just like some dudes like making some brewing up some chai. And that was just like the funniest, like, who's brewing up like a masala chai outside the countryside home. So then we started boiling chai, and then we started seeing all the UK and Indian ministers. They were loving it. They were coming back for like multi cups. And one of the marketing people says, "Oh, it'd be cool to get a shot of, the Prime Minister drinking chai." And I'm like, "Yeah, it would. It would. That would be a cool shot." Yeah. Then the big boys start coming down. They waddle over, and it's so slow. I was just like.
Welcome back, everyone, to the show. Today, we're sitting with Akhil. He is the founder of Amala Chai, a London-based brand on a mission to bring authentic masala chai to the UK. Made properly, sourced fairly, and rooted in tradition. He launched the brand back in 2019, and this was inspired by a trip to the Himalayas and his grandmother's recipe, with a mission to rethink what chai could look like in this country, creating a product that honors the culture it comes from, supports the farmers who grow it, and builds community around every steaming cup. Amala Chai is now served across London and has caught the attention of everyone from everyday chai lovers, such as myself and probably you, to world leaders, even having served not one but two prime ministers at the same time. Working directly with small-scale farmers in Assam and Kerala, paying up to 4 times the market rate, Akhil has built a supply chain that is rooted in fairness, transparency, and regenerative practice. This October, Akhil will be taking that story even further, heading back to India to travel 7,000 kilometers in an autorickshaw, filming a documentary that goes behind the cup. He'll be exploring the people, the rituals, and the stories behind chai across the country. I hope that was all correct.
I mean, I think I should hire you as my marketing lead because that's a lot better than I would say it.
Welcome, Akhil, to
Thank
BGS.
you. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm
Happy
so
to be here.
excited. And you're like equipped with the merch, and we've got cups, and yeah, I'm ready to get into it.
Nice.
We were talking just before this, and I was going through your website in preparation for this, and honestly, genuinely shocked as to how you've just curated such a brilliant brand. I hope you're, acknowledging that along the way.
Thanks so much. I mean, I think, when people see the brand today, it seems really cohesive. But it really wasn't that when we started. And when anyone asks of like, this brand, they all start with such a curated, they've got the brand image, the brand propositions totally set. We totally didn't. And it's really a slow evolution of, constantly refining. And now I think all the brand touch points really match really well. So, it's a culmination of 7 years of slowly tweaking and yeah.
Yeah. Slow incremental growth.
Exactly.
Right? How many people are in your team?
So we are 8. We have very lovely people who work at our chai stalls. And then we have a couple of freelance who help us with the graphic design, social media, and the website. But top of house, it's mainly just myself.
How much time do you spend on actual stalls serving chai these days?
I haven't been on the ground making chai for a while, but those early days were crazy. It was just like set up the stall, brew the chai, cleaning, and some days you would serve maybe 200 people, and it was really like, I don't know, now I feel I spend so much time on the laptop. I feel really disconnected sometimes from the business, where I feel like, oh, do people actually still drink my chai because I'm just on my laptop by myself sometimes? And that type of like manual labor feels so satisfying. Like you feel like you earned dinner that day. It was just like, and the things I missed was like the trades, with the others, I always used to have pain au chocolat with my chai in the morning. I dip it in and I was like, that was the start. So, I haven't been there in a while to answer your question, but it's nice to check in on the guys. Yeah.
Do you still do little visits and
sometimes I surprise them like today.
Oh,
so,
that's really lovely.
Yeah.
So 7 years of running the business, can we just take a moment to, acknowledge that you've come such a long way? What would you say is something quite specific that, you reflect on in the last 7 years that you've grown in, or a way in which you've, developed as a founder?
I would say I've really done it my way. And I know this will not go along with some people, how they think they should grow a business, or what people from the outside. But really, I think a business can give you the life you want to live. And I really firmly believe that a business should enable your life rather than take over it. And I think when I think about the whole journey of, we started off the business, and I was just like, it'd be amazing if we could pay ourselves a little bit. And that would be a success.
Yeah.
And, going through the ups and the downs and so many shortcuts we could have taken. We're a self-funded business. We could have raised money. We could have gone down a revolving circle of, raising money, then getting diluted down, and then growing. And, that's not what I wanted. And I don't think it's still what I want. I really think, I'm proud of, I've kept it to the way I want to live my life. And yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, that does come across though. It shows that it's come from a place of passion and genuine care for, bringing a good product into the market. I was actually going to ask you this later, but what naturally comes to mind is, obviously there's so much talk around, collaboration, competition, and that comes up a lot in particularly circles within the kind of global majority. So obviously a lot of the founders I get to meet now through my work are of South Asian descent, such as yourself. And I always have very mixed conversations with people around, do we actually feel supported by one another in the space, or do we feel quite isolated? So I'd love to get maybe your 2 cents on whether you really look around too much in terms of what's happening in the chai space specifically. You obviously are based in London. So does that ever kind of come to mind when you're planning your next moves with the business?
It's definitely tempting, and I've definitely done it at different bits. What people put online is a very curated set of how they're doing, but all founders know is that they're probably just also feeling, have we got everything together? You've got to set some boundaries with it, because there'll always be people with more. There'll always be people, you're doing better than, and there's always more things you can do. I think when you've sometimes got to think about the fundamentals. Are those rational things? And what can you do with your resources that you have? And sometimes I catch myself, like more recent, I actually stopped looking at what competitors were doing because it's like they can really take you away from what you want to do. And I think with, the masala chai space, there's lots of different avenues. There's retail, there's wholesale, there's the physical locations, there's the online segment. And some people are doing better at each different ones. So when you try stretch yourself too thin, and especially as self-funded, you don't have the budget to do that, you'll just stretch yourself things and go from one thing to the other. So it's tempting, but it's kind of more of a discipline thing.
Yeah. And it's probably been a journey in itself, right?
Exactly.
I want to call out what you said about how different brands will do things differently. It's so true, because as a consumer, you're looking at it as, oh, there's all these chai brands, right? But you're not thinking as a consumer, well, this one's doing more like wholesale, or this one's, more popular as a powder. This one's actually got a stall. So, and you're right, like everyone's kind of got their little niche. And actually that can probably apply across industries, because we get so caught up in things looking so polished when we look around, right? I've definitely fallen into that trap. And then you're left having that conversation with yourself, whether you are caring too much about the wrong thing. So I think it's great that you've kind of or you're finding your equilibrium,
Yeah.
let's say, with that. I really want to try the chai.
Great. Yeah, for sure.
And I want to take a minute to actually call out our sponsor for this episode. We have Biscuit Bar. I don't think we're going to be actually crunching on the biscuits right now, but we will pop it here. Yeah. So thank you, Chanli, for the sponsor. And
yeah, big up Chani. Best biscuits in the game.
They're great. Honestly, the masala
We've done some
jaggery
collabs,
is...
yeah.
I message her regularly being
Nice.
like, I'm craving
Yeah.
that particular flavour.
I know.
So
and you can't beat
incredible.
the chai biscuit combo. So
That's true. Yeah.
I always used to love dipping the biscuit in and then waiting for that bit where it's just about to fall off.
No, that's the worst part. No, because then you're like, oh my God, it's gone.
No, but then you don't miss it.
So you somehow catch it before it falls in. Yeah, I'm like half a second late.
Yeah.
I'm getting up, have to get a spoon and grumbling because there's a soggy bit at the bottom.
Yeah.
Do you do biscuits with Amala?
No, we don't do biscuits. Sadly, very sadly, we do cardamom buns.
That's not so sad.
It's sad because I would love to, have a full range of, some of the snacks you get at the chai stalls in India, but unfortunately, sometimes the British customer just wants their cardamom buns.
Do you not find also certain cardamom buns are just too cardamom-y?
Yeah, especially when you have with the cardamom chai. It's cardamom on cardamom.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like too much of a good thing.
Yeah.
I won't name the bakery, but there is a bakery in London where I took a bite and I was like, this is like 5 times the amount of cardamom I'd put in my chai.
Yeah.
And you're meant to be kind of selective with okay, maybe 3-4 pods. I don't know. How many pods would you put in a cup?
1 cup?
Yeah.
2.
2 pods, yeah. That
2.
sounds about right.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm still finding my
your
perfect
cardamom group
threshold. All right, I'm gonna give the chai a go.
Great. Cheers.
Okay, so can we talk about the ingredients that you've used?
Yeah.
And do you have different flavors?
So we have, so the recipe was inspired by my grandma's. And so it's got cardamom, nutmeg, black pepper, cinnamon, and ginger powder. Mm-hmm. And at the chai stall, we've got a kesar chai and we have a chocolate chai.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. I really didn't want it to make it sickly sweet. And it is not sickly sweet. It just kind of adds a tinge. So, it's liked by quite a lot of people, actually.
Yeah? Well, I love a classic.
Nice.
Yeah. Glad you picked that one today. You're right. It's not too sweet and it's not too overpowering. And I know people drink chai in different ways. And I'm curious to get into the details of that in a bit. But somehow this feels like very, good for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like a universal.
So what actually led you to, finalizing this recipe? Like you said, it's your grandma's recipe, right?
Yeah. So when I decided to start the business, I messaged her first. Aww. And what she normally does is she makes a big batch for the whole family, so then distributes the masala. Mm-hmm. So we started with that recipe. And we've made some small tweaks. And then obviously we were making it in big batches. Mm-hmm. So we'd have to figure out how much masala will go in, 5-liter pot. And just made the tweaks accordingly. Because when you make something at scale, you have to change the proportions of different things. So that's how it started. Yeah.
And I guess in our cultures, right, whenever you ask someone in the family who's seasoned at making something, how much of this am I meant to put? And they'll just be like, oh, in Hindi, it's andaze se, just put it however.
Yeah.
Or to taste. What does that mean?
This is the beauty about Indian cooking is it's not by these methodical numbers. It's about my grandma has written all of us a cookbook of all her recipes, and what I really love is it's half a cereal bowl of something, it's just rough. It's about feeling, and it really just comes with practice of how much you need to put. And also it is a bit ambiguous, but it's just practice and then you understand. Yeah.
What language do you speak to your grandma in?
English. So sadly, I am the third child, and my parents didn't speak Gujarati around me that much. So I only understand a little bit.
I love that this recipe is your grandma's. And I guess, like, just what comes to mind naturally is what spurred on starting Amala.
Yeah, it was honestly a really random moment. Like, I had just finished university. I was 9 months working as a data analyst because my idea of life then was I'll just go be a data analyst and work in lots of different cities. And that's the way I thought it was going to be. And then I was going to move to Canada, and I had my visa and everything. And, I was going to quit this job. And then I was in Leh Ladakh. And what I really, I've grown up around chai. My dad makes chai for my mum every morning.
Aww.
But I just remembered I really loved how, chai was a space where everybody could gather and we were having lots of chai. And it was just like, wouldn't it be funny if we started a chai stall in London? And I got back and I was chatting to my dad, and like, I think I'm gonna start in a, chai business. And he's like, yeah, you should definitely do it. So then I went outside of my house and I couldn't find a good cup of chai anywhere outside of somebody's home, or, sometimes you get it in an Indian restaurant. So that's how the whole thing started. And I was living with my sister and I just started, making batches of chai and secured, we're not there anymore, but for 4 weeks we were on Brick Lane to start, and just to see if the British public wanted the liquid gold, just like I did.
And what was the response that
It
the
was,
British public had?
Yeah, it was really great. It was like, that first day, it was just, we had pani puri there as well. And the night before was just popping so many of those puris, just getting ready.
Please explain what pani puri is to
Pani
anyone who might not know.
puri is coming into summer, it's the perfect summer lunch.
Punjabis, Bengalis, and many other people will be really annoyed that you called it pani puri.
I know this.
I call it pani puri.
Yeah. So it's a fried small puri, and we put potatoes, some chutneys, and we put this spice, salty, refreshing liquid in it. And it's so good.
Honestly, best food ever.
Yeah.
That, every time there's a trip to India, there has to be like a stop at a pani puri store.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we are limited to bottled water pani puri because our stomach can't handle it.
Yeah.
So you had a stall at Brick Lane.
Yeah.
And tell me about scaling. So obviously over the years, you now have so many stalls. So tell us, where are you based? And was that always the intention, to be across the city?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of, that was the first start of the business, selling hot chai, as a grab and go kind of thing. And the first year I was just on the stall selling chai, and there was no real business plan. It was just like,
just vibes.
Just more chai. And right now we currently have 6 locations. So we are in King's Cross, Victoria Park, Broadway Market, and Leather Lane at the moment. So it works out as, 16 days per week, which is pretty cool. This is what I forget being on the laptop, that we sell X amount of cups of chai per week. And so that was kind of where it started. And then all the other elements, okay, this can be maybe like a business. How do we make it a business?
It was already a business though.
I know, but it kind of felt like a side hobby then. And then I was like, okay, how can this be a business? And what do we want, the brand to stand for? What are the values we want? And, what do we want, people having a cup of Amala Chai to represent? So after opening a few more locations, I knew I wanted to set up a direct supply chain for the business. At that starting point, I will admit, we were getting our spices from Kingsbury. So we do our weekly shop there. And
nice. That's how the best things are started.
Exactly, from Kingsbury.
Specifically.
Yeah. And we would make the masala in at home. So that first year, went back out to India to basically meet farmers, and my requirements there was fair trade and organic. And these were quite like loose terms, as like a kind of consumer who wants to be sustainable-ish. That's kind of what we know by. But as I met different farms, I realized how these certifications, whilst they do stand for like a good point, they're also super expensive, super rigorous. Almost that, for organic certification, you can't have fertilizers in the ground for 3 years. So there are a lot of farmers who have organic practices, so either don't have the money to get the certification, or maybe they just converted and it's like this whole legroom. So, but regenerative farming and like sustainable farming practices go way further than just those two things. It's about how well you pay, people. What are the biodiversity practices are they using? So growing your crops amongst different others, so they help, support each other in a natural way. So it was amazing to learn about these different themes and who we wanted to partner with. And we are super lucky to have partnered with amazing suppliers in Assam and Kerala who really embody, how these values started off in the business of, equitable sourcing, a really homely feel with the brand, and, what we want a cup of Amala Chai to represent. So those were like the foundation blocks of, how the brand kind of started taking shape.
That's quite a jump from, buying spices or buying chai locally in a supermarket, wherever you can find, not wherever, but like, in the places that you're used to shopping, to being like, actually, we're going to, be organic. We're going to focus on regenerative farming. We want to use this opportunity to pay farmers fairly. That's a big jump. Did you always know that was going to be the brand's ethos and values? Or was that something you kind of, discovered as you were realizing there was a demand for this, service, the chai stalls, and using that then as an opportunity to think bigger and be like, okay, how can we now contribute to society more positively? Which way was it?
Yeah, I think it was something I had thought about on the way I want to consume also. But I didn't really quite know. I think my reasons were a bit fluffy. Like as a personal, I was just like, it seems like the right thing to do, but I didn't know why it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And then I was like, these are the right values to set the business upon, which is, after hearing their mission, after hearing about, how they get more women into work in the spice farms in Kerala. So the way they work is they're a cooperative, and each family grows their spices around their home. And their first priority is to support their family. And then anything excess, it goes into a big pot where they help, basically the organization help market their products.
Right.
And any support they need in organic farming or manure units, or, if they have a bad crop year, they'll always be paid the same. So, having those systems, I felt like I need to get the word out on, the dangerous mishaps of, monocrop farming, the way we consume, and these, the way these systems have been set up for, centuries. Yeah.
I really like the honesty of that, because you have businesses often that, follow similar value systems, but to be able to openly say that you actually knew it was roughly the right thing to do, but you didn't know much about it, that's probably where a lot of us stand, right? Where we're like, oh, we want to do the right thing, but what does that mean? And what's that going to cost? And what other considerations are we going to have? Because obviously you have to think about business from the ground up in such a different way, right?
Yeah.
It affects the types of farm partners that you have, and probably also revenue, right? Because you're allocating the right amount to the farmers.
Yeah.
So tell me about how you figured out all of that.
Yeah. Honestly, it's like when we were first buying those spices, it was such a big jump from the price. It was like, oh, like that's £70 per kilo for cardamom. It's like double what you get.
That sounds like
and you're
a lot.
like, yeah, it is a lot. But you've got to stand by what those values are. And when I was starting, okay, these are the things I want to do. And, you're putting these things out and you're a bit like, do people care? You're like,
that is my question. Genuinely,
yeah.
like, is that moving the needle enough for you?
You know,
to be devil's advocate, because obviously we do stand for these values as well. But
I think now I feel the fruits of those roots. Like,
in what way?
The way people feel about the brand, they feel like it's homely, it's warm. They love, people send me, they love reading about, these farmer stories and, the connection with it. And whilst those posts are not going to engage the best on Instagram, it's not just about Instagram, and I think, when we had the big moment by going to serve 2 prime ministers, I asked Downing Street, why did he choose us? And they said, oh, we just thought you built such a lovely brand. And, they could have chosen so many other people. And they decided to choose Amala Chai. So I think that was the bit I was just like, okay, it's, if they searched us online and found us and chose us, then we must be doing something right.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Well, let's expand on that. So, yes, you did have the opportunity to serve 2 prime ministers, Narendra Modi and Keir Starmer. So, for everyone to just, a second to put any political views aside, which I urge everybody to do, myself included, tell us about what that experience was. And just to be a fly on the wall in that room or in that space.
It was wild.
Did that experience actually get you any kind of response that was negative from people?
Yeah, I'll come on to that.
Oh my God, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'll come on to that.
We need the goss.
So yeah, it was crazy because I get an email being like, hey, I hear you do, chai at events. Are you free next Thursday? This is Thursday. And I look at the email, it says, I think it was Lucy at 10 Downing Street, and I was just like,
is this phishing?
I was just like
just checking the email address doesn't have like too many.
And then I thought it was spam, and then I was like, hey, why didn't we jump on a call? So I speak to her on the Friday, and we were like, okay, cool, that's she's like, give me a quote, and I'm like, is this real? Like, you're giving me a quote?
You there? Yeah. What do you quote? Like, how do you know what to charge?
So I was like, I would have done it for free anyway.
Yeah, but you obviously don't lead with that,
But
right?
because I knew it was Downing Street, I did a little bit more, but not too high.
You have money.
If they said no, I'll be like, I'll do it for free.
That could be like the last resort, yeah.
So yeah, we confirmed this, like, it's to celebrate the India-England trade deal. And I was like, cool. They're like, it's at Checkers. And then I was like, cool. And then I was like, Dad, what's Checkers? Like,
what is Checkers?
So apparently it's the Prime Minister's home, countryside home.
Okay.
And apparently a lot of international world leaders go there.
Okay.
So then they didn't say anyone who's going to be there and everything. So I didn't want to get my hopes up. I was just like, oh, cool. What a cool experience.
Yeah. But
in the back of my head, I thought there was a good, strong chance that, the Prime Minister of the UK and India would be there.
So you've gone into this without being sure about anything? Or have you just told yourself that, let me just not get my hopes up until it happens?
Yeah, exactly. So, we, I bring to my staff and we set up, and there are 7 other brands there who are all trade with India, England. And at that point, one of the marketing people come up to me, hey, this is crazy because we're just outside the Prime Minister's home and it's just like some dudes like making some brewing up some chai. And that was just like the funniest, like, who's brewing up like a masala chai outside the Prime Minister's countryside home. And it's just like,
oh my gosh.
The crazy thing is the security checks weren't like that. Like, they must have done some background checks, but
you really could have brought in anything.
I could have brought
ingredients.
I was thinking that everyone was saying that you could have put anything in your chai, and I was like, yeah, I could have. So then we started boiling chai, and then we started seeing all the UK and Indian ministers. They were loving it. They were coming back for like multi cups. But I knew like there's good Photoshop opportunities, and one of the marketing people says, "Oh, it'd be cool to get a shot of the Prime Minister drinking chai," and I'm like, "Yeah, it would. That would be a cool shot." And yeah, so I've got my staff videoing the whole thing. And then the big boys start coming down. They waddle over, and it's so slow. I was just like,
just picturing them waddling over, like literally.
Yeah, and they're like,
God.
and then I didn't realize that they were coming to me first. So, I'm here and they're there. And then they just turn around to me, and then it's just, there's all the media around, and then it's just silence, and it's just like...
So everyone's filming or watching, and
everyone's filming and watching this interaction, and it's just
this
me.
This is what your life has boiled down to, literally.
And I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" That was the first thing I said, because I went into customer service serving mode.
Yeah.
And I've served so many cups of chai. I was just like, and if I met them like over a boardroom, I'd be like shitting it.
Obviously,
But,
you'd be in a different mindset. Yeah.
I was in a different mindset. I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" He's like, "Tell me about your tea." And I'm being like, "Oh yeah, it comes from Assam and Kerala." It's like, so it actually made me feel really comfortable.
Yeah. Oh.
And then there was a bit of pause between when I served Stahmer and then to Modi.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, Modi is historically a chaiwala, right?
Yeah,
so explain what was going on there in your head.
So then it was just like, the line just came out of like from one chaiwala to another, and then everyone started laughing.
Wait, did you say that?
I said that to him.
Oh, you're really coming out with the lines. Had you planned this? Had you rehearsed it?
I hadn't planned that. I was roughly thinking, I was just like, you know what? Yeah. So it just came out. And anyway, that whole moment was crazy. And I was like, I've got this golden piece of content. Maybe I'll post it Monday. And then I'm on my way home. I'm telling my mum, like, "Mum, I just like..."
And your mum didn't know that you were going to this?
No, they all knew I was going, and everybody was waiting to hear what had happened. And then I was just like, guys, it was just like not even like what you would think is possible. It's like the impossible's happened.
Oh, wow.
And anyway, I'm telling them, and then my staff called me and has been like, bro, like Modi's just posted a picture of you on his Instagram. And I'm like, what?
Wait, this is just getting wilder and wilder.
Yeah, it's wilder and wilder. So then I'm like, shit. I need to get content out now. I put together a video, and then it just and then I didn't realize my staff put another video out, and
on the Amala page?
No, on his page.
Oh.
And basically it goes mega viral. Like all the news channels have reposted it, and it's like, and people had made me into like a meme, and it's just like, dude, this guy totally roasted Modi. Like, it was just like, because when I say that, like,
yeah, of course, that could be taken.
And then I put another video. It was like, Akhil Patel has just now posted an update. So anyway, it was just wild. It was just like, what is going on? Of like everybody, rewatching this video of me, and I get so many incomings of like people from India being like, people I've never spoken to being like, "Oh my God, congratulations." And
that's
like,
so sweet.
Yeah.
Do you fear you peaked in that moment?
No, you know what was really nice about that? It was like people really picked up on the story. So like going back to when I think about the fruits of the roots, it was really nice. A lot of people wrote about that. And when people asked to do interviews with me, some people were just like, "Oh, who is this person? Like, what's your favorite food? Like, what do you think of India?" And it's just like, come on, like, but some people really cared about the story and wrote nice pieces.
Yeah.
Which was the nice, heartwarming things. And I didn't actually read the comments, but I know there was a lot of negative comments. They're both quite in the news people. And the way I always put it was, we never talked about any of politics. We always stayed away from it. And we said, hey guys, we're a small business. Anyone who is in our position, who had the opportunity to capitalize on a moment, would do it. You know, it's really tough to be a small business and you have a moment and you got to use it. And we never, you know, said we like them or dislike them, or, you know, we just said we focus on the craziness of, you know, that thing happening.
Yeah. It's obviously it's a personal choice as to whether you say yes to that or not, right?
Yeah.
But like, it's each to their own. In that point, you've worked so hard to build this business, and obviously it like must have catapulted you into like the minds of people that hadn't even heard about you, and it might be people that, you know, then might have visited your stall after. So did you have stories like that as well, where people are like, oh my god, I came from that video I saw?
yeah I went down and it was just like, that's my face.
Yeah, that's me.
yeah so
what a wild experience.
it was totally insane.
How do you regulate mentally when you have like highs and then, you know, the day-to-day is just quite, you know, BAU, business as usual? Like, how do you mentally keep yourself sane and keep yourself in check?
It was interesting because it came like at an interesting point, because I was feeling a little low about the business or like the next step, and that kind of thing happened, and it really energized me, which was really cool. Because summer's anyway a quiet period, and you kind of you know, white people want cold drinks on a hot day. But ice chai as well.
I mean, do you just serve white people? Like, I'd happily come to your store. Do you actually serve mostly like Caucasians?
It depends where you are. Like East London is like, heavy. But it's okay. Got to serve. You know, we're sharing something which, you know, we're also educating, and, you know, so I think it's important to serve a range of people, because if we just cater to, you know, Indian customers, then, you know, we're not actually, you know, sharing what we want to share with the brand. And ultimately, you know, if we look at chai latte, it's a westernized take, removed of all the place, people, histories. And this is what we're doing with chai. You know, we're, you know, hey, you know, this is, you know, exposure is good, but it's nothing when you lose the context of what it has. So I think we are a brand for everyone, and we want to be homely. And I think the brand represents myself of being British Indian. It's a fusion. The identity is a fusion of that, and you know, everybody's welcome.
I mean, speaking of chai lattes and chai tea, everyone kind of scoffs these days, right? Chai tea is just tea, da da da. But like, do you actually think people are still missing a trick in terms of understanding the cultural significance of chai, particularly when you bring it into the West? And I'm not just talking about Caucasians. I'm also talking about, you know, first, second, third generation South Asians living abroad, you know, outside of the motherland. Do you still think there's like a bit of maybe a gap in the knowledge, or not even the knowledge, but like the dialogue around chai?
100%. I think, you know, it is, even if we just go to the way it's made across, you know, the whole of India, as, you know, in South India, they mainly basically just have milk tea, you know, majority of times. In Kashmir, they have noon chai, which is pink. And even in Assam, it's mainly milk chai. And, you know, we mainly think of it as masala chai, but often in a lot of places, it can just be very different. And also, not everybody loves chai, you know? A lot of people do, but a lot of people do like their filter coffee in, you know, Tamil Nadu. So I think, there is a bit of a misunderstanding, also a generalization to thinking that everybody loves chai and it's the same everywhere. So, and that's what the beauty of it is as well, is that there's no one recipe, there's no one way of, you know, different spices that you have to put in. It is almost what that cup represents in itself.
So kind of bearing that in mind, do you still think in a space like, or in a country like the UK, or in a city like London, do you still think there's a lot of opportunity for different types of chai to be, you know, served, represented, spoken about, and distinguished?
Yes, as long as they are given the cultural context that they come from. I think when you start making things which are like, if you made like a chai blueberry or something, I don't know,
I'm
and
surprised that hasn't happened yet.
yeah, or just things where you kind of are doing it from like a commercial perspective without holding the traditions that made it what it was, is when you start, you're doing a bit more of what chai latte has done for chai. But I think the more people who are, into masala chai and know what it represents, then they're more interested in also trying the different varieties of chai.
Have you heard that in certain places in, I think Mumbai, from what I saw, there are cafes that are now doing matcha chai?
Yeah, I've seen that.
How mind-blowing is that?
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
almost like now they're also doing that whole thing of,
Yeah.
oversimplifying a concept. But is it considered appropriation if it's happening in India?
You know what? I think, there's got to, we can't not experiment with things because that's how innovation, doesn't happen with, and food is the biggest example of like crossing cultures, how things come about, banh mi and so many other examples of,
Like
across
Italian food, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's when you're trying to say, hey, this is authentic matcha or authentic chai, and you're not representing exactly what it is. If you're saying, hey, we are a fusion drinks brand and we're going to give you creative drinks, fused from around the world, then fine, that's okay. I think it's when you start classifying things as like, this is authentic chai and you don't represent exactly what it is what happens with chai lattes. It's like, yes, these are from India, spice syrup brewed with or steamed with hot milk,
and all you can taste is cinnamon.
Yeah. And when they put that powder on top, it's
Yep. So true.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a refreshing take on it. And you've clearly done so much research into, how to bring this forward in this market, but in a way that's also true to you, because you're almost like you're saying this is what we are, but you're also saying this is what we are not.
Yeah.
And there is room for growth in that area. And it goes back to the whole, like, when you look at, all of the different providers in a particular industry and you think, well, everyone's doing things, certain things better than others. And it's the same with like probably the ingredients as well, right?
Yeah.
So I want to touch on a very exciting initiative you have coming up, which I believe is a documentary you're filming in October this year. You are raising funds for this and you're planning to travel 7,000 kilometers. What? Or did you just wake up one morning and think, I'm going to do this?
Yeah.
What was the thought process behind that?
It's been pretty wild. It's been pretty wild trying to plan such a epic, but I'm super excited about it. In a way, it feels like an extension of everything, we've been doing with Amala Chai, and, part of, often India is a one-dimensional view, and it's really broken up into so many smaller regionalities and different stories. And every time I went to India, I'm going into quite small rural areas, and, every time we were sharing these stories over a cup of chai, whether it's the people making it, growing it, or just the communities who gathered around it. And, after the whole event, we had some momentum with the business and there were a lot of options on the table. And I was like, how can I use this to further, what we're building here? And this project has come up, and what's really exciting is I'm excited and nervous because it's obviously a different, creating documentary and longer form content is a whole different kettle of fish. But, we see so many Instagram videos of, fast food in India, and, there's so much more depth and so much regionality into the stories that we can tell. And it really frustrates me on these viral food contents in Bombay, and it's the same ones.
Yeah.
And I think this journey will give us an amazing opportunity to use chai as the storytelling lens
Yeah.
of, how they make it around, but then the people who gather around it. And it's a huge project, and I'm nervous whether I'm capable of doing it or not capable of doing it. It's happening, but the plan is to go around India, starting in Kashmir all the way to Kanyakumari and finish in Darjeeling. What you can expect is a lot of behind the scenes during the journey, and then hopefully all culminate in a longer part series where we really dive into the stories that we tell over a cup of chai, from Kashmir to Bombay to even Andhra Pradesh, and a lot of places that people often don't hear about or talk about when they think about India. So we are raising funds via a Kickstarter, which is also new for me, but this is a community-based project, and I've had people tell me that go behind doors and raise money by sponsors silently. But the thing is this is about bringing the community along with you. So we have decided we'll hopefully raise some of the funds to at least go on the journey on April 30th. And then let's see where we're at. But what's really exciting as well, within the crowdfunder, we've put together an extended episode. So we did a research trip this January, and we did shoots in Delhi, Kolkata, and Kerala, where we started to share some of the stories that we had been uncovering. So we met 3 different chaiwalas across Delhi, and also some of the regenerative farmers that we've been working with. So I hope that gives a glimpse of the type of stories we hope to tell, and hopefully opens everyone's view to, what the amazing, regional diversity that India has.
What are you trying to keep in mind before going on this trip? Because this is a big undertaking for you as an individual as well. What do you hope to learn?
What's on my mind at the moment is that I am not the spokesperson to tell people about India. I am just going to share and learn. That's something which is really important, because I'm not the right person to do that. And I'm almost just hopefully the platform so people can understand a little bit more. And that's something really on my mind, because we have a lot of Westerners trying to tell people about India, and that's not something which I'm trying to do. So that's something I'm very keen to keep on thinking about, and yeah, I think I'm really going to learn and share, and I don't want it to be sure, I'm doing it in a rickshaw, but I don't want it to be. I want the focus to be on the stories told over it, the focus to be on that, and sure, the adventure comes with it, and that is going to be crazy and a bit nerve-wracking. But it also helps us tell the story, between places, a bit more open, because what was the other option? Taking trains and cars. Can't really capture things in the same way. So yeah, those are the things I'm hoping. And,
are you taking an on-site mechanic with you too? How is one rickshaw going to survive this?
I'm hoping to get really sufficient 4x4 wheels on there. Let's see. So
how exciting, Akhil!
Yeah.
And I really hope you manage to raise the funds that you're looking for. I believe it's 50K you're looking to raise. Is that correct?
Yeah, it will be. It's essentially the bare minimum we need to go out there. And then it's almost like a sliding scale. The more money we get, the better we can make it, the better we can document these longer form stories. And that's what the main objective is, to keep the focus on that rather than anything else with the journey.
Yeah, no, I love it. And who are you taking with you?
Well, there'll be a videographer with me in the journey, and then we'll probably do longer form shoots, and I'm trying to get my girlfriend to meet me at the end.
Oh, that would be cute.
Yeah.
She's like, gang, joining for the whole thing. But
Yeah.
we'll hang out after.
Yeah.
That's so lovely. And very exciting. And I wish you all the best.
Thank
I
you.
think from
Yeah.
on behalf of all of us listening, like, yeah, this sounds like such a cool initiative. Is there anything that you need to like physically prepare before going?
You know, right now my mind is just getting like, I need to know I've got some funds to do this.
Yeah.
I don't think I can mentally think about like the preparation without having that on board.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the next. So I'm planning to go out October 1st. I think it will take me 70 days. Let's see. But I think those feelings will start to come of like what I need. But yeah, let's see how things develop.
How do you remove yourself from the business for over 2 months?
Yeah, there's gonna be
Should I ask that? Have you got a plan?
That is, you know, within the next 6 months, supposed to be sorted out. But luckily, the guys, you know, the chai will still be brewing and boiling and served. So
Yeah.
people will not be short of their chai. So, but we're hoping to have some cool things on the way where we can highlight some of the artisans along the way and how people can get involved. So those are all in the plans as well.
Are there regions that you're going to be visiting for the first time ever?
Yes, the majority of it.
Wow.
I mean, other than, yeah, I think it's exciting. It's like, I've never been to Kashmir. I've never been to, you know, Andhra. I've never been to Odisha. And, you know, I think it's so exciting to also see it by land and really see how the landscapes change over time. So, yeah, it's crazy.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, you know, hanging off the edge of my seat. I want to see it all unfold. There's so much that you've done already and such an exciting year ahead for you. So yeah, all I can say is, you know, you're doing all the right stuff, Akhil. Honestly,
Great,
like
thanks.
You're trying to think about it in the right way, and that's the best we can all do, right? Is just to be honest about what we know, what we don't know, and try and just bring the golden, what is it? What do you call it? The golden
liquid gold.
Liquid gold. And then also just, I guess you're creating a space for other people to also feel, you know, take some sort of inspiration from what you're doing. Because like you said, right, you didn't set this up in the sort of cookie cutter way. But on the surface it looks great. So.
I'm glad.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. It's been great. Thank you so much.
And good luck with the documentary.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see it.
Great.
We'll be sharing it on our platform once it's out.
Awesome.
Obviously in a few months. And I encourage everybody to go to Amala Chai, try the chai. It's fantastic. Thank you, Akhil.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.